the Irish guy, and I know, okay, I know, there's no weird cave behind me. It no longer feels like there should be a spider about to bite off my thumb, but lads, today I'm going to take a look at the 20 most expensive football transfers of the 2024 summer window. And 3 months in, just great how well they're actually doing. I mean, this is like football's midterm exams, where we can really examine if these massively expensive names are actually worth the stupid money or not. Right, let's go. 20th, William Pacho to PSG, 38 million A. It's mental to think that 2 years ago, William Pacho was playing in a defense with Richie Delat. Remember that old chunk of lettuce? That Manchester United cobweb of a left back? Yeah, nowadays, I'm telling you, beware the rise of William Pacho. Ozzy, after PSG snapped up this Ecuadorian centre-half from Eintracht Frankfurt in the summer for £38 million, he has been astonishingly smooth, slotted straight into Luis Enrique's starting 11, and he has been such a slick operator at the back that he's already got interest from Real Madrid. I mean, to be fair, the Galacticos are also sniffing around a Nottingham Forest centre-back. Oh, really? Is this like the time they were caught Googling Stephen Fletcher? Yeah, seeing Real Madrid shopping at Nottingham Forest is like seeing Pennywise the Clown buying a couch in IKEA. It just looks odd. But yeah, don't be fooled by PSG's patheticness in Europe. They are still on for an invincible Ligue 1 season. And so yes, domestically, this guy has been utter class. And let's not forget, he still costs less than what Spurs paid for Davinson Sanchez 7 years ago. I'm giving Pacho an A. 19th, Jorginho Rutter, 40 million C. Look, I thought the Brighton were massively overpaying when they splashed out a club record £40 million for Leeds United's French forward Jorginho Rutter, but to be fair, he's been pretty decent. No, Fabian Hurstler has not quite decided what his best position is yet. 1 week he's a right winger, the next he's a centre forward, but he has looked decent. I mean, he has started the last 9 Premier League matches, when, I mean, considering the competition in Brighton's surprisingly stacked forward line, to such an extent that Evan Ferguson is about to go out on loan, then yeah, Rutter, 2 goals and 3 assists so far. He's been okay. 18th, Max Kilman to West Ham, 40 million C. Look, after an impressive display up at Newcastle on Monday, a TalkSport pundit hailed Max Kilman, calling him an absolute monster. Being called that by Troy Deeney is ironic, because that man genuinely looks like a werewolf. Imagine seeing his face underneath your bed. You would probably jam a toothbrush in your eye. But look, Kilman was an ambitious centre-back buy from Wolves, with Julian Lopetegui reuniting with a smooth, uncapped baller. And again, he's been largely okay. I mean, the Hammers' form has been absolutely useless, and he's only been part of 2 clean sheets, but he has played every minute of every match. Being West Ham's first-choice centre-back is impressive, considering Jean-Claire Todibo was recently one of the most in-demand centre-backs in the world. That man had more hype than Britney Spears had in 2004. I mean, certain operators at Manchester United look like they would eat their newborn baby to get their claws on this niche centre half, and yet at West Ham, Max is the one who probably gets free ice cream in the canteen, while the underperforming John probably has to eat a sandwich in his car. Kilman is being pretty decent. 17th, Ivan Toney to Al Ahly, 40 million F. Awful, absolutely dreadful. Look, I'm pretty sure nobody bothers to follow up on Premier League stars when we wave them away to the Saudi Pro League. I mean, when only 2,000 people can be bothered watching them turn up to play in stadiums, why should we care? Honestly, the attendances are so low in that league that Toney probably knows half the season ticket holders by name. Look, we have seen the likes of Alexander Mitrovic go over there, take it seriously, and eat goals as if they're jelly beans. But Toney, he is taking the ridiculous £400,000 a week wage and has been poor. He's got 6 goals in 14 matches and has started the last 3 games on the bench. Lads, this man has dream service. Better service than he ever had at Brentford by a mile, with Riyad Mahrez, Gabri Veiga, and Bobby Firmino playing behind him in an attacking midfield trio. This is a dream scenario, and yet he still lost his place to Firez Al-Bukayan, some homegrown 24-year-old striker who has less clout than someone who finished 9th at Britain's Got Talent 15 years ago. Genuinely, Al-Bukayan could fly to England, walk around London, and he'd get recognised less than Joey Knight. Toney is a filthily talented baller, an England international in the summer. How is he not eating every centre-back on toast? The fact he had to score 2 goals coming off the bench the other night, off the bench, in Saudi, that's about as embarrassing as if Toney was caught on camera eating his mum's underpants. But by the way, lads, just a quick thing to say before we move on. Hit that subscribe button, but also let me know what you would think about a potential Monday evening live stream in 2025. So I have the Prem catch-up as a video in the afternoon, and then a live version of me just wrapping up the Premier League results from the weekend and any questions you might have in the chat. I know, the Irish guy live? Weird. A bit like when Neighbours does a live Christmas special. Well, let me know if that is something you would want in January. But yeah, back into the video. 16th, Endrick to Real Madrid, 40 million D. Oh, look, Endrick is going to be a superstar, but I feel like this man deserves a D. Unlike Conor McGregor, he broke her heart. Look, people are calling this 18-year-old striker the next Ronaldo. He's already got 3 goals for Brazil, and he has officially joined Real Madrid from Palmeiras for £40 million, and he's barely played. He has been given 9 La Liga games. None of them have been starts, and only 2 of them have been cameos where they're more than 6 minutes each. But he did still squeak a goal for Real Madrid on his debut in a 4-minute cameo against Real Valladolid, which is fitting considering that club's president is literally Ronaldo. R9, that is. The one who probably constantly thinks about cake. Not the one who boasts about his water brand while chatting to a nervous Mr. Beast. Look, Endrick's only start was in a pretty miserable and damp 1-0 defeat to Lille in the Champions League. I have no doubt that he will be class. And it must be ridiculously daunting trying to scramble minutes up front for Real Madrid when there's literally Mbappe in the building. Trying to scrape game time here. It must be like Justin Bieber's little bro trying to make his parents proud. Yeah, I mean, when Justin has conquered the planet and gave his parents mansions each, suddenly your successful interview at the post office doesn't really look fridge worthy after all. 15th, João Felix to Chelsea, 41 million F. This will go down as one of the most pointless transfers in Premier League history. Lads, João Felix is a quality footballer who just does not fit in anywhere. Honestly, ever since quitting Benfica in a freakish £100 million deal, becoming the 3rd most expensive footballer of all time, he has been the saucily talented false 9 who never really looked right at Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Barcelona, and now Chelsea again. He's like that strange sort of guy at school who doesn't fit in with any of the friend groups. Probably because he keeps talking about why he fancies pigeons and thinks it appropriate to eat banana off the floor. Okay, I'll admit it, that was me. Look, Felix has been great in the Conference League. I mean, he's played every minute so far, scored 4 goals, and is probably on course for the Golden Boot. But in the Premier League, a goal in his second debut against Wolves was great. But come on, he recently spent 4 out of 5 matches tabled to the bench. He finally started a game against Leicester, where he looked okay. It's frustrating because he has glorious ability, but he didn't really fit into Chelsea the first time, whilst on loan under Frank Lampard. Yeah, it's crazy how quickly things can drastically change in football. That one of Felix's Chelsea managers now coaches Coventry. That sounds weird. Really weird. About as weird as KSI pretending he's not friends with Gibb. Okay, Misfits Boxing is my guilty pleasure. What of it? Bringing João back to Stamford Bridge after it was kind of awkward the first time. It's about like going back out with that same woman who kept spitting in her soup. 14th, Manuel Ugarte to Real Madrid, 42 million C-. Look, Manuel Ugarte was officially signed on Erik ten Hag's watch. But come on, this felt like the board thinking ahead. This was a future buy for Ruben Amorim when they would eventually hire him. Honestly, ten Hag must feel so furious right now because his paranoia was probably right. I mean, come on. After signing a former Sporting Lisbon rock star, it did look like they were paving the way for Amorim. Ten Hag must have been so suspicious of this guy. I mean, this is a little bit like your girlfriend buying you a pair of new shoes for your birthday that don't fit you, but they just so happen to be a perfect size 13 that conveniently fit the feet of the hunky gardener across the road. Yeah, when you're dumped within a month and she's engaged to the bloke who prunes daffodils without a shirt, you're gonna realize your paranoia was right. That is Ten Hag right now. Christ, but did I really just rob an analogy straight out of Desperate Housewives? My mum used to watch it, alright? But look, if you think I'm reading too much into this, nah. This is probably how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer felt when they signed Donny van de Beek. Look, Ugarte is going to take off under Amorim, but under Ten Hag, he really did look poor. His first start was in a horrific, hideous display in a 3-0 loss to Spurs. He was immediately dropped and only brought back into the team by Ruud van Nistelrooy, where yes, he did look neat and tidy in midfield. I mean, lads, he has started in 3-0, 5-2 and 7-0 wins this season. It's not been a nightmare start, but it has been slow. 13th, Douglas Luiz to Juventus, 42 million E. Douglas Luiz had been linked with a move away from Aston Villa for yonks. And now, just a few months after he finally quit for Juventus, he is linked with a Premier League return because the Brazilian's time in Italy has been pretty dreadful. I mean, he must feel like one of Pamela Anderson's many ex-husbands. His time with the old lady just isn't working. He started really slowly under Thiago Motta, only started 2 of the club's first 8 matches before he gets injured, and he's missed the last month. He's been so underwhelming that apparently the club are open to a swap deal involving Joshua Zirkzee. Yes, that Manchester United tree, a guy who's got less confidence than anybody on the undated Bulls. Don't forget, this man once had a £100 million price tag on his head. Yeah, the midfielder who, while at Man City, was treated like an onion. 12th, Desiree Doué to PSG, 42 million D-. Desiree Doué is one of the most exciting youngsters in the world, right? Yes, he's got a name that makes him sound like a frustrated pop star, but he's another mega super talent out of Rennes Academy. Honestly, with the likes of Eduardo Camavinga, Ousmane Dembele, Mathys Tel, Desiree Doué, Sacha Boey, and Jorginho Rutter having escaped their academy, I would advise that club president to start putting bars on their players' windows at home. Doué is a star, but he ain't Abby. Reportedly pretty disgusted at his lack of game time, actually. I mean, come on, the PSG president has said that the Galactico era is over, that they're now moving towards homegrown, exciting talent, and yet, after a £42 million summer switch, he's only started 4 matches so far, no goals, 1 assist, and to be honest, his 1-minute cameo against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League must have felt like an insult. 11th, João Palhinha to Bayern Munich, 43 million D. Look, considering this transfer was at least 18 months in the making, expectations were always going to be high for João Palhinha when he finally escaped his Fulham contract and got his dream Bayern move, but he probably joined them too late because he's 29. He's not a spring chicken. No, there's somebody probably now gets a stitch even looking at a slice of pizza. And I know Xabi Alonso played in his position and he joined Bayern in his 30s and he was still amazing. But so far, this Portuguese DM has not been great. He's been in and out of the team and was probably fuming that during the club's best game of the season, where Vincent Kompany ball truly clicked, probably for the best time in his managerial career, in a 9-2 win at the Champions League. Oh, Palhinha was fully wrapped up in a duffel coat on the bench, and because of that, Alexander Pavlovich, someone who sounds like a posh dessert, he was actually slotting in beside Joshua Kimmich to make Palhinha an irrelevant cookie stain on the bench. Then he breaks his collarbone. Joy for Palhinha, right? No, because he's just ruled himself out until 2025 with a torn muscle, allowing Leon Goretzka to sneak back in. Yeah, it's been frustrating for yet another expensive João. 10th, Michael Olise, the Bayern Munich, 45 million B+. Michael Olise is an absolute star. He is the perfect example of someone who lets his feet do the talking, because honestly, have you heard him in interviews? Look, Bayern Munich are going to become the most painful team for English fans to watch, because yeah, the England captain plays for them, sure, but he is getting service from two utterly silky, world-class almost ballers who could have played for England. Lads, Jamal Musiala was born in Germany, but he played underage football for England. Olise, born and raised in London, and yet not a single underage England cap, and yet now 4 senior France ones. So it's too late. How did nobody ever try to wrestle him into an England squad ever? It is going to be weird to see a France number 10 being interviewed on the eve of a World Cup final when he sounds like he grew up watching Arsenal fan TV and the chicken peng munch kid. Well, look, he has been unbelievable since his move from Crystal Palace. 7 goals and 4 assists for Bayern so far. I mean, he had one game where he scored 2 and assisted 2 in a 5-0 romp at Werder Bremen. Just unreal. The fact that he former Crystal Palace winger is now starting for France, a nation which is arguably the toughest one to squeak game time from, just as Khalid Ben Arfa. Amazing. Well done, Michael. That's a sentence I never heard from my mum. 9th, Koopmeiners, 46 million D. Yeah, Juventus' new signings have not worked. This summer they splashed out £46 million for Atalanta midfielder Koopmeiners, but it's not working. He's underperformed so far in his matches as a number 10, and he just played as a stupid false 9 in a 0-0 draw against AC Milan. So far, underwhelming. 8th, Dani Olmo to Barcelona, 47 million B+. Barcelona are bonkers. Despite being in a position where they literally had to beg Man City to take Ilkay Gundogan back after just a year because they could no longer afford him, they also splashed out £47 million to buy Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig. It's like the board could not help themselves. I mean, they just had to have this new shiny toy after that Euro 2024 for Spain, and then they woke up in the morning and realized, we don't actually have enough money in the piggy bank. Let's boot out Gundogan like he's a box of dirty nappies. They couldn't even register Olmo for weeks. He missed the first 2 games of the season because of that nonsense. What? Well, look, he then scored in his first 3 league games, got injured, but then came back to play an exquisite 25 minutes in a 4-0 win at Real Madrid. Then he scored 2 goals against Espanyol. I mean, come on, for an attacking midfielder to have 5 goals in 7 league games. Bear in mind, he's not a goal scorer. He's never scored more than 8 league goals in a season. And even that was for Dinamo Zagreb 5 years ago. He's definitely going to get double digits in the league for the first time in his career. I mean, he's halfway there and it's a month before Christmas. 7th, Moussa Diaby to Al Ittihad, 50 million A. Again, nobody really cares what's going on in the Saudi Pro League. But for any Villa fans who are bothered to know what their former club record signing Moussa Diaby is getting on after you got your money back from him after just 1 season, when his eyes turned green and chased the dollar bills, yeah, he's been great on that right wing for Al Ittihad. 10 games, 10 assists, including 4. Yes, 4 assists in 1 match. And then he went up to chalk an assist in each of his next 6 games in a row, just feeding Benzema. It's simple. This guy is way too good for that league. And so, yeah, him and Benzema with that French connection, it's just too easy. Was it really worth sacrificing your France career at the age of 25? For this? 6th, Amadou Onana to Aston Villa, 50 million B-. Look, Amadou Onana's Aston Villa career began brilliantly after a £50 million move from Everton. And so his early season form, something which earned him a Premier League Player of the Month nomination, that would have squeaked him an A, but Villa's form has dropped off big time recently. 1 win in the last 6 matches. His standards have definitely dipped a little. He was a complete midfield monster at the start, but recently, it's been a backward step, but he's still been a very good signing. 5th, João Neves, PSG, 50 million B+. Yeah, here we have PSG winning the race for Benfica's 20-year-old midfield starlet João Neves in the summer, and yeah, he has been brilliant. An absolute gem in Luis Enrique's midfield. He looks great in possession, comfortable on the ball. B+. 4th, Pedro Neto to Chelsea, 51 million C+. Look, I thought Pedro Neto would be a laughable, big money flop at Chelsea, because let's be real, this Portuguese winger is a complete sick note, and who has a horrible record in front of goal, but to be fair, he's looked bright at Chelsea, forced his way into the starting 11, leaving Jadon Sancho to pout on the bench. He belted home a stunning equaliser against Arsenal. He also has 3 assists and looks pretty electric and quick. A live wire bag of pace, basically what Timo Werner used to be on the Chelsea wing. So he's not been a class buy or anything, but he's been better than I thought. 3rd, Leny Yoro to Man United, 52 million, not applicable. Yeah, he's injured. I can't give him a grade. Next. Second, Dominic Solanke to Tottenham, 55 million C+. You know what? Dominic Solanke has been better than I thought. I fully thought he was going to be a hopeless Soldado-esque buy, an expensive centre forward who would stat pad his record by scoring a bunch of goals in Europe. I mean, yeah, Solanke has scored in Europe too, but in the Prem, 4 goals in 10 matches. He is absolutely Spurs' main man up front. He's played the full 90 minutes 9 times already. He's led the line pretty well. I mean, he just played the full 90 minutes, creating space in a 4-0 win at Man City. Yeah, he's been good. C+. First, Julian Alvarez to Atletico Madrid, 64 million B. Look, Julian Alvarez has been fine, but for a world champion who completed football at the age of 22, I was expecting this Argentina striker to be a mi Aguero and explode at Atletico. But to be fair, just 4 goals in the Liga, but it is 9 goals in 20 games in all comps, and let's be fair, no, he's not a goal-scoring monster. This is not the second coming of David Villa or anything, but the most expensive signing in the summer of 2024 worldwide. He's been good. Just good. Anyway, that is the end of it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? What did you make of that? Let me know your grades in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.